Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your boy MagMongoSlade. We're going to be talking about NXT as usual, as we do every Wednesday, March the 19th. So we're going to start with news and notes as usual. This might be a little bit longer than it needs to be, but I want to make sure that everybody understands where we're going here. So Brooks Jensen wore an Ole Anderson t-shirt during, I believe, an episode of NXT. It might have been his match with Obafemi on NXT. A fan then tweeted at Brooks Jensen. So the tweet at Brooks Jensen reads, "So, Brooks Jensen, why do you think it's appropriate to wear a t-shirt of a massive racist in 2024? Because his shirt has Ole Anderson on it." Now, I wasn't sure what the big deal was. And of course, as usual, if I have questions, I ask questions. And if you ask questions, then you'll get eventually some kind of answer. So Rocky Johnson, of course, who is the father of The Rock, notoriously says that Ole Anderson was one of the biggest racists in the history of the business and that he stereotyped black wrestlers. He said something to the effect of that they called each other names at one point in the business, between him and Ole. And he says, quote, "When I went to Tennessee, they had them stereotyped. When I wrestled, I always considered myself an athlete and a wrestler. Even though it was a work, I kept myself in shape, and when I went down there, they had them on TV eating watermelon and fried chicken. I wasn't going to play that role. I wasn't going to be an Uncle Tom, and I never was going to be. So they had no choice. It was either that or they were never going to use me. I just let them know I don't play that game. I came here as an athlete, and I'm going to leave as an athlete, whether it's today or 6 months from now. And that's when I became the first black Southern heavyweight champion." He continues going on about different situations, but none of these seem to be directly tied to Ole Anderson. I don't know if Ole Anderson was booking in Tennessee at the time. I'm not sure. I never heard that before. But you also had, I think, Tito Santana, who also had a problem with Ole Anderson. So Tito Santana claimed that Ole Anderson screwed him out of some money by fining him and all these kinds of things. He wasn't very well liked. I mean, that much is a fact. But I don't know how true the claims of racism are. It's possible that it could be, but we know that Ole Anderson was pretty much a prickly gentleman to pretty much everybody. But Brooks Jensen then apologized and says, "Living, learning, loving. I will never support any racism, hate, or bullying. While I respected Ole for his wrestling, it was news to me after wearing that t-shirt that he was associated with these allegations. I've noticed my looks and where I'm from are frequently stigmatized with the underbelly of our society, i.e. racists. But this mullet just likes to give love and party. My apologies to anyone who knew the allegations prior and were offended by the shirt. I'm learning, and this was noted." I mean, we're just apologizing for everything now. I mean, it's very odd that everybody's life is being dwindled down to very little. You know, most people have no idea who this guy is. They've never seen a single match. But whenever somebody dies, especially if somebody that was not very well liked, or if somebody is getting a little too much, good talk on their name, there's always somebody doing a quick Google search trying to destroy it. And apparently this is what happened. A young wrestler, Brooks Jensen, is very young. And it seemed to me that he was just trying to show respect. And even that minor desire to show respect was twisted and flipped to something negative, to the point where not only does he have to apologize for wearing the shirt, but he has to explain why he's a Southern white boy with a mullet and a mustache, which he shouldn't have to explain at all, because who cares? Literally. But these terminally online wrestlers, they want to be liked by the dirt sheets and all the people online. So they quickly apologize for everything. They figure it's no skin off my back. But to be quite honest, what's done was done. Why are you apologizing? It's not like you asked that a person's opinion before you wore the shirt. You don't need their opinion. And most people would not have mentioned it or talked about it anyway. So it was what it was. Let's move on to NXT, however. So Roxanne Perez defeated Tatum Paxley with the crossface. I like the crossface as a finisher for Roxanne Perez. Much more sensible than that Pop Rocks, which is actually a stupid move. Even though she fluidly used the Pop Rocks first and then went into the crossface. Not really a huge fan of Tatum Paxley losing clean. Mostly because she's supposed to be a sort of, I guess you could say, I don't want to say enforcer, but a sort of, she's standing up for Lyra Valkyria. So you would think like she would, again, get disqualified, try to hurt Roxanne Perez the way Lyra was hurt, you know? She's supposed to be like a crazy person. She was logical enough to tap out, so there we go. After the match, Lyra Valkyria tried to attack Roxanne Perez. Tatum Paxley got in the way, and that ended up opening up a lane for Roxanne Perez to attack the arm of Lyra Valkyria while it was in a sling, and that was pretty much it. Later, Lyra Valkyria demanded to Ava that the match be made for Stand and Deliver, and Ava agreed. So, Lyra versus Roxanne Perez at Stand and Deliver. Pretty big match. You know, everybody saw it coming because they've been building to it for a while. And it's a good toss-up match because either you have Roxanne win and you cement her heel turn, similar to Drew McIntyre, or you beat her. And then you just kind of have to ask the question, what is she hanging around NXT for? You know, like, what is she hanging around here for if she can't win? So, it's fine. Noam Dar talked about Trick Williams attacking everybody from behind. Says he can't wait to get his hands on him. And Lash Legend said after that stunt he pulled last week, she can't wait to get her hands on him either. Which made me laugh. What also made me laugh is Otis. So Otis and Alpha Academy, they show up because they're just hanging around, I guess. And Otis says that he's a little jelly at Trick Willie because he kissed Lash Legend last week. And I think he said to her, like, you must be my peach. Or something to that. It was over the top. It was dumb. But the reason Alpha Academy showed up is because they want to get into this tag team qualifier. They're going to wrestle the War Dogs next week. And if they win, they're in. But they're probably not going to win because, heavens to Betsy, do we need Akira Tozawa on every show? I don't think so. I don't think we need Akira Tozawa on any show. I hate to break it to you. All right. So Josh Briggs called out Obafemi because he didn't like the way Obafemi was dogpiling his boy Brooke Jensen last week. Obafemi came out, says that he was glad that Josh Briggs did not like that match. And he loves pushing men to the edge, but the ring is not a place for emotions. It's a place for results. So Josh Briggs called himself the Man of Mayhem. This is like the fourth guy who's using Mayhem as a nickname or a moniker. You got Mr. Mayhem, who is Wardlow. You got Steve Macklin, who I think is calling himself something with Mayhem as well. And now Josh Briggs is the Man of Mayhem. He's still wearing cowboy boots, for God's sake. In any event, Josh Briggs basically challenged Obafemi to a match at Stand and Deliver for the title, to which Obafemi accepted. At this point, it all goes downhill because Dijak is coming out there, and there's never a promo segment in which Dijak actually improves things. It just doesn't happen. So Dijak comes out, says that Obafemi is ducking him, and then he and Josh Briggs have words in which Josh Briggs called him Shaft, to which Dijak actually said something funny by saying, do you not see me? I'm white. Everybody. What? Shaft? Where do you get Shaft from? Of all the people you could have said, you could have called him a bootleg big boss man. I've been offending and shit talking Dijak for 3 years or more. And I've never come up with anything as lame as calling this man Shaft. It was ridiculous. Honestly, truly ridiculous. Of course, they got into a fight. And so the North American title picture is a little bit clouded. Shawn Spears is watching this on television, talking about men hitting their egos. He's being stalked by Joe Gacy. And then later in the show, much later in the show, as I'm kind of enjoying what Trick Williams is doing on television, kind of. I see on the bottom of the screen, on the bottom right-hand side, next week, Dijak versus Shawn Spears. Now, wait a minute. Now, wait 1 second. You going to tell me that the two people I like the least in all of NXT are going to end up having a match next week? You got to be shitting me. This is a rib. I'm not even mad about this. This is a rib. I'm waiting for, the Steve Harvey morning show or something to call and say, you getting punked or something. Somebody's got to be playing this game on me. This is ridiculous. Why was Shawn Michaels a perfectly sensible person? Is he back on drugs? Is he back on that shit? Shawn, are you back on that shit? Oh boy. Anyway, let's just move on. Axiom and Nathan Fraser defeated Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne. Miles Bourne he's still deaf, and he's definitely not good. Axiom and Nathan Fraser are going to be somewhere near that tag team title picture. I'm not sure what that entails. There's so much tag team stuff, and it's so much win and get in, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, man. The Good Brothers, they won their match later against Hank and Tank. So that's fine. That match went on way longer than it should have. And I really don't like the Good Brothers. I really don't like them. But at least it ain't Shawn Spears and Dijak, for God's sake. Okay, Von Wagner. Mr. Stone is mad that Von Wagner carried him away like a Disney princess and embarrassed him in front of his kids, which is perfectly sensible for you to be a full-grown adult male. They got carried away like a wife on her wedding night. I mean, you got put in the bitch seat. I understand. I completely understand. My heart goes out to you. Our Ebony Queen, Sol Ruka, defeated Brinley Reese in a babyface versus babyface match. I don't know why you would book this. Brinley Reese, her and Thea Hale being the same character is hilarious. I wish that they hadn't changed Thea Hale's character back to what it was. So they could at least let Brinley Reese breathe as this character. But now her and Thea Hale are doing the same character. Sol Ruka wins with the Soul Snatcher, which is that tremendous flipping RKO thing that she does, which I think should be done very sparingly, because that's going to be nightmare on her back. I mean, she's probably, 22, 23 now? Wait till she's 38, and she's still doing that move. If she could still have legs at that point in time. But both of these girls are very athletic. You could probably criticize the stripes and the holds, especially on NXT, because these girls are taught the athletic portions of it, and they're not really taught the wrestling. So, like, their chin locks look very weak. Like, you can get out of those things almost immediately. They put almost no effort into their chin locks. That's why they barely do them. And their punches don't look legitimate either, because that's why they barely do them. But overall, not terrible. Gigi Dolan is talking to Ren Sinclair about the low blows last week between her and Ariana Grace. And she said that those things hurt. So then Ariana Grace steps in and talked about, the referee's decision is final, and that her low blow was accidental, while Gigi Dolan did that on purpose. And then she says that she is excited about the opportunity to bring the true lady out of Gigi Dolan, who she called Georgina. So, Georgina Dolan. That's hilarious. So then she gives her a sash that goes around the show. It says Miss NXT in training. this is excellent. This is fantastic. Everybody loves Ariana Grace. I mean, she's so much fun. All right, Ridge Holland. He's sitting in front of curtains saying that he's going to do what everybody wants him to do. And I'm like, get shot out of the cannon? I don't know. The D'Angelo family, they came out there. They cut a promo. Tony D'Angelo starts talking about his new responsibilities. For the third or fourth week in a row, he introduced everybody to Luca Crucifino, who he ran down the man's resume and says he's got wisdom to go with his muscle. Then he turned to Dragunov and said that he respected Dragunov, but he's going to be the man who's going to break the unbreakable. Dragunov popped up on the screen, started this promo, but he got cut off by Tony D'Angelo, who says that Dragunov has no control over this situation. Tony D'Angelo has all the power, and that there's a lot of time and opportunity between now and Stand and Deliver, and that he's going to fight Stacks next week just to prove that he done got no power. And then he says, I'll see you at Stand and Deliver, but we'll see what kind of shape you're in at that time. So they've been doing for the past, I don't know, a couple of weeks, really building up the authority of Tony D'Angelo. And it seems like they might actually be considering making him the champion. Very interesting. I'm not mad at it, if being honest. All right, so Thea Hale is back to herself. She's backstage. She's apologizing to Riley Osborne. She wants to be friends, even though she kind of also wants to be more. But she's like, oh, I hope we can just be friends. Riley Osborne is okay with that. And then he goes off because he has to wrestle his Heritage Cup title match, for God's sake. So, because it's the no quarter catch crew, they're random lottery picking whoever is going to wrestle to defend the title. And the person that they picked is Drew Gulak, who promptly loses in the first round via shooting star press. Now, Gulak ends up winning the match because JC Jane and Jasmine Nix comes ringside. And JC Jane and Jasmine Nix, they distract the referee, leading to Jasmine helping Drew Gulak win. So 2-1, Drew Gulak wins. Thea Hale chased JC Jane around ringside and through the ring and everything, trying to get to her. And didn't quite work out for her. Didn't work out for her at all. And in fact, ended up costing Riley Osborne the match. Later, JC Jane and Jasmine Nix met up with Kiana James and Izzy Dame to create a super team of mean girls who, of course, start shit-talking everybody else. JC Jane and Kiana James bond over the concept of JC Jane having to raise Thea Hale and how it went from a simple charity case till it being babysitting. And you know, they talked some shit about some other girls, Fallon Henley being another one that they made fun of. As Jasmine walks away with Kiana, Izzy Dame and Kiana James are jumped by Kalani Jordan and Fallon Henley, who they started teaming up because earlier in the night, Kalani Jordan wanted to get some revenge on the people who jumped her several weeks ago, which I forgot about. And of course, Mama Hen Fallon Henley was there. She's just everyone's mom. She just goes from, she has no feuds of her own. She basically just joins other people's feuds. That's pretty much it. And it all has revolved around Kiana James for like 2 years. Like, they need to have like a Hell in a Cell match or something like that to blow this thing off. Because this Fallon Henley, Kiana James thing has been going on for a long time. Long time. It's actually kind of crazy how long that thing has been going on. Backstage, Trick Williams is talking about Noam Dar, says Noam Dar won't go far. And if Melo shows his face, he's going to whoop his ass. This takes us to the main event. Trick Williams defeats Noam Dar. There was a lot of chaos at the end with Lash Legend, you know, trying to hit Trick Williams and a bunch of other stuff. Trick Williams ended up hitting the trick shot, which is his pump knee, to get the win. He immediately after the match calls out Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes' theme music plays. A bunch of security guards walk out. A guy comes out wearing Melo's gear. And then Trick Williams is attacked from behind by one of the security guards, who we find out is Carmelo Hayes. So he snuck behind Trick and attacked him. Took a couple of cheap shots to end the show. That was okay. That wasn't bad. So overall, from beginning to end, NXT was solid. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. They're still furthering things along. There's, of course, you want to see more, but I mean, there's people you want to see more of, and then there's people you want to see less of. Clearly, I would like to see less Dijak and less Shawn Spears, but I'm not going to get my way on that. I'm just going to keep saying it until eventually that one day it will come true that I will not be seeing those guys on my television. Hopefully it's sooner than I think. Obafemi is tremendous, really good promo, and he speaks with confidence, has a good cadence. I just hate to see him bogged down with Dijak, Josh Briggs, I can even understand because at least it's a story and at least they're trying to elevate Josh Briggs to a degree. The women in NXT get a lot of TV time, but there's only one title. I hate to say this. I'm going to say this. They should really bring back the women's tag team belts because those girls need something to fight for. Right now you have a lot of teams of girls running around and they have nothing to fight for. They got no reason other than personal issues and to hang out. And it's coming across as being kind of repetitive. Like there needs to be something where we actually see things moving forward. So I'm kind of not happy that the women's tag team titles are gone. Now, speaking of not happy, our girl, everyone's girl, Nikita Lyons, the big booty goddess herself, she says she won't be back to wrestle until at least Halloween Havoc. That's another 6 months. This girl has spent more time injured than she has wrestling. I mean, I think she's on her 3rd or 4th year in NXT, and she spent a good 2 of those years hurt. I mean, it's crazy to me. Just absolutely crazy. But even if she can't work a single match, she can work everything else. I still wouldn't get rid of her. She can just stand there and be the booty match. You just put the logo on her butt and let's let it be. All right? Just have her bent over in front of the NXT logo, and I think that's enough. That'll get a lot of people's attention, But truly sad that she keeps tearing her knees and everything up. I mean, if her ACLs were as sturdy as the rest of her, she'd be world champion on the main roster by now. All right. Thank you guys for your time. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.
MagMongoSlade. Best house I ever drew, Daddy.